Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Rocking the bluey hoodie today. Dad life, one wife, couple of dogs, and a couple of children. But we got a great one for you today as we're going to be checking out Jordan Reed from ESPN and his mock draft. Let's go ahead and get into this sucker. I'm eager to see what he's got. Haven't looked at it yet. So I'm ready to be surprised. I'm ready to be intrigued. He's got Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears. I think ultimately, this is probably what the Bears do. They take a quarterback at number 1. Yeah, things are a little more dicey that now that stinking just Fields played pretty decently down the stretch. Yeah, you had his final game in Chicago. We want Fields. We want Fields. And yeah, it makes you feel a certain way, but when you look at it, I think the smartest and the wisest decision is to move Justin Fields for draft capital and to reset the rookie contract on that with the quarterback. That's just my opinion. I know Chicago is in turmoil. They're split down the middle. Well, maybe not down the middle right now. Maybe more like 60-70% wanted to stick with Fields, but it's a split nonetheless. Caleb Williams got all the tools. There's gonna be a lot of coaches that think they could coach this guy up. At number 2, Washington takes Drake May. Again, nothing too unusual here. Washington, they just got rid of Riverboat Ron. By the way, Bears, they got rid of Luke Getsy today, so going to be a new OC in Chicago, like I predicted. I figured they'd stick with Eberflus, but Commanders, yeah, I mean, new regime, new quarterback. That's typically how we go here. And they go with Drake May. For a lot of people, he is either a quarterback 1 or 2. At number 3, this is where the draft starts, in my opinion. Let's see what we got. We got Jaden Daniels, another popular pick there. For the Patriots. Right now feels like it's a 3 quarterback race in the top 10. Jaden Daniels being that 3rd guy. New England, don't know what they're going to do with Bill Belichick as of right now. Listen, I don't know if he's gone. I have to see it to believe it. That's just me being a Dolphins fan. You can't tell me the devil's gone until he's actually gone. But yeah, Jaden Daniels, I mean, if this is a new regime, it makes sense. Regardless, it makes sense just because Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones have just been kind of, they're mid at best, in my opinion. So let's keep this thing rolling. I wonder where we'll see a quarterback next, or how far, or even if we will see another quarterback, because people are pretty torn up about who QB4 is and when you should take them. So expect like Falcons, Vikings, Broncos, those are probably kind of the next guys that will consider quarterback. I don't think the Giants will. I think they're probably going to take like a Malik Neighbors in the situation. Cardinals take Marvin Harrison Jr., best prospect in the draft. If he's available there 4, you're going to go ahead. You're going to snag him. Not much to talk about here. Get Kyler Murray some weapons. Chargers are going to take Malik Neighbors, so I expect the Giants probably to take the first offensive tackle off the board. That's just kind of how the draft shook out for him. But the Chargers fans ought to love Malik Neighbors, man. Just add in that to your wide receiver core. Again, this is another situation where it's going to be a new coach, new GM. They're going to go out. They're going to get Malik Neighbors. Don't know what they got entirely in Quentin Johnston. Not a lot this year. It was encouraging, but there's going to be some cap shedding. I imagine Mike Williams, even a possible chance of Keenan Allen. So we're going receiver here. I think does make sense as well. Let's see what the Giants pick. Oh, they go Roma Dunze? Oh, I didn't see that coming. But listen, Roma Dunze is well worth the top 10 pick. I think there's some parallels in this draft class when it comes to the 2021 draft class, where we didn't see a defensive player off the board to like pick 9, wherever Micah Parsons went. I can't remember. Maybe it was pick 10, but we saw like 3 receivers go early on, and your Waddle, your Chase, your I think Devontae Smith may have went 12, maybe, I can't remember. But I think we're going to see some of those playmakers go in the top 10. I mean, Kyle Pitts was another one who went at 4 to the Falcons. And then obviously we got 2 big tackle prospects in this class like we did in 2021. There's a lot of parallels. There really, really is. And I don't really expect defense maybe to come off the board at maybe like pick 8. You can make a case for the Falcons if they don't go quarterback. Pick 9 for the Bears. But Roma Dunze, man, I like that level of spice in the receiving core for, I guess whoever's playing quarterback in New York. Tennessee Titans take Joe All, kind of a no-brainer. Fortunately for them, both tackle prospects are available here, so they can kind of take whoever they think is the best fit. I think Joe Alt would be a fabulous addition for the Tennessee Titans. All right, now let's see what Atlanta does here. Atlanta's going to go with Liatu Latu, so the first defensive player is off the board. And now we're going to see where does quarterback 4 fall here in this draft class. If the Falcons don't go with quarterback, then I think edge kind of feels like the pick. I do like the idea of maybe going with a wide receiver, but with the top 3 all gone now, I think that's like, okay, we can't be tempted by that. Let's go ahead, get probably the top edge rusher in this class. Like Liatu Latu's been phenomenal for 2 years. Like him falling, it all comes back with the neck. How will that check out at the combine? But before we get into pick 9, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we had that nice, a beautiful, sensual football discourse. Quick shout out to Underdog Fantasy. They are the sponsor of today's video. When you sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code Broshmo, they will match your first deposit up to $100. News is the best place to play weekly best ball, or my favorite, higher lower on player props. They don't just do football, they do all the sports, so check them out. It's a good time to be had, but as always, please bet responsibly, bet within your means, and if you do sign up, use promo code Broshmo. What do the Bears got going at pick 8, or pick 9, excuse me? It's Dallas Turner. I think edge probably does make the most sense. I really do think Jared Verse is probably a better fit, but you can't deny it. Like Dallas Turner, he's right up there. It's kind of a 3-horse race when it comes to who's the top edge in this class, and Turner is among them. A guy that's still kind of growing into his body, and I just kind of think Jared Verse, in terms of where he is at physically, frame-wise and whatnot, he's much improved against the run this season. Feels like the better fit, but I don't think Dallas Turner is necessarily out of the question here. Pick 10, the New York Jets. It's got to be Olu Fashanu. There we go. We finally get offensive tackle 2 off the board. The Jets would be elated if this happened, that they could get an offensive tackle, because their offensive line was a poo-poo. It wasn't good. So you got Aaron Rodgers coming back. You want to be sure to be able to protect him. Let's see what the Vikings do at 11. Is this a quarterback? It's not. They go Jason Newton. Okay, we're poo-pooing the quarterback class. I wonder if we will see a quarterback go. I feel like the Broncos, they're kind of in. They said it's not out of the question that Russell Wilson returns, but if he doesn't, there has to be a plan B there. But regardless, Vikings, there might be a good chance that Kirk Cousins returns, so this will enable the Vikings to kind of do a lot of different things with this pick. But Kirk Cousins also coming off the ACL injury, so keep that in mind. Edge seems like a likely scenario, as you got Daniil Hunter, free agent, DJ Wonham, free agent, Marcus Davenport, you guessed it, free agent. So edge kind of seems like a priority, especially for a team that by far had the highest blitz rate this year. And it wasn't just because Brian Flores is aggressive. I think a lot of that had to do with he didn't think his guys could just win on their own. So getting some more firepower on the defensive line, I think, is reasonable. But I feel like that's probably better answered with edge. Jerzon Newton, big fan of Jerzon Newton. It's just I'm curious how the NFL will see him. I mean, Dane Brugler reported that a lot of teams see him more as a second round pick, top 50 prospect, because he is a bit undersized. I think nope, it's Denver Broncos here. I was going to say New Orleans Saints, but they go J.J. McCarthy. So he ends up being quarterback 4 here. Listen, I think the NFL really likes J.J. McCarthy, and I get it. The guy's got a ton, and I mean a ton of tools, a ton of arm talent. It's just Michigan didn't really showcase that a lot this year because they didn't really need to. He never really faced adversity there at Michigan. And he did have some clunkers this year. You think Maryland, you think Bolin, Green, but he's a guy that feels like he's maybe just a year away from being a like surefire top 10 pick. I'm kind of curious, does he stay at Michigan for a year? I think a lot of that hedges on what Harbaugh does. So we'll see, but Broncos, they do need a plan B if Russell Wilson. I mean, they benched Russell Wilson while they were in the midst of the playoff race. There was a good chance that they made the playoffs, and they decided to bench him because, oh, we don't want to pay your, what was it, $39 million dollar, not bonus, but like you would have been guaranteed that much if you were to get hurt. So I feel like you don't do that unless you are going to you are going to move on from him. So this pick does feel like it'll be a quarterback. I think Bo Nix would be a phenomenal addition just because I think he feels like a Sean Payton type of quarterback, someone who just processes the field well and won't put the ball in harm's way. But you could almost kind of say the same thing about J.J. McCarthy, though I do think he puts the ball in harm's way a bit more than Bo Nix. All right, we got, I think this pick is the Saints. No, it's the Raiders. Wow, the Saints are a little bit lower. I'm sorry, the draft order just isn't ingrained in my head yet. It just got cemented this weekend. Give me the benefit of the doubt. They go Kool-Aid McKinstry. Another place that quarterback can be taken, or they could be in the Justin Fields sweepstakes. I mean, keep in mind, interim GM, is it Champ Kelly? Can't remember. I know it's Champ, but he was a part of the Bears organization that drafted Fields, so this could be a Fields landing spot. But they go Kool-Aid McKinstry, pairing up what they have in Jack Jones, who was stellar this season after picking him up off of waivers. They got Nate Hobbs, who can play inside, play out. So you can actually make the case that Terry and Arnold, a guy who can play inside and play out, could be the pick here, or even Cooper DeJean. So I don't know. We'll find out. Patrick Graham right now is going to be interviewed for a couple of those head coaching jobs. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually is back with the Raiders. And we still don't know even who the Raiders head coach will be. I hope it is Antonio Pierce. There we go. Champ Kelly. There it is. I just had to read the article. Who would have thought? But big fan of Kool-Aid. He's in the running for cornerback one. Cornerback one's a very tight race because we could talk Nate Wiggins, we could talk DeJean, we could talk McKinstry, and then I think Arnold is then kind of the next guy. But his flexibility inside and out will be fancied more by some teams than others. Okay, we got the New Orleans Saints. Finally, they go J.C. Latham. I think tackle's kind of a must for the Saints, just because you don't know what the future is for Ryan Ramczyk, as he is currently battling a knee injury. I think it's like some sort of defect where some of the cartilage in his knee is just kaput. So we don't know what his future looks like. Hopefully that gets cleared up in the next few months. Trevor Pennant hasn't lived up to billing. Granted, this year was kind of his rookie season because last year he was hurt. Regardless, you're looking thin at tackle, so going in like drafting a tackle in a strong tackle class, I think makes a lot of sense. J.C. Latham probably ends up being that next tackle off the board. You can make a case for Amarius Mims and all of his tools, and then Talanisa Fuaga and just his phenomenal play this year. But you also got to question, is he a guard or is he a tackle? All right, pick 15, Indianapolis Colts go with Brock Bowers. The Brock Bowers fall is over. I forgot he was even still on the board, man. He would have been considered to a lot of teams here, but he ends up going here. Jelani Woods was banged up, didn't really get, I don't think he even played a snap this season. I think their lead snap getter in terms of tight end was Kalen Granson. You also got Mo Alley Cox, who's just kind of a tight end 2, tight end 3 type. So like they could realistically go tight end if the value is there, which it is in Brock Bowers. So I like the pick. If you don't want to there's a lot of ways they can go. They could keep adding artillery to the defensive line, though you saw Jer'Zhan Nunez off the board. That would probably be the pick there, or probably be a consideration there. You have corner. I really do think Cooper DeJean is a really good fit for Gus Bradley's system, and just with all the versatility that he brings. But I'm looking at him playing outside. That's where I want him to be. But yeah, no, I mean, receivers also in the cards here if you could get another outside guy, because I think Alec Pierce is fine, but I think he's like wide receiver 3-4 fine. So you're looking for another guy that can play on the outside. Roma Dunze would be fun. But then do you want to, here at pick 15, do you really want to pull the trigger on that next tier of wide receiver in this class? Seattle Seahawks go with Troy Fautanu. It's a popular pick right now. I think this might be a little bit too early, but I mean, hey, guys are going to go out and get their player. I think Fautanu is going to be a really good player in the NFL, especially at guard. I mean, there's a case that he could end up, his spot could end up being tackle, but I think ultimately you're going to see him, look at him as a guard first, and then maybe if there's injuries, you can push him out to tackle. Because I mean, here the Seattle Seahawks have Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, so you're looking at him at a guard. I mean, they got Damian Lewis, they got Phil Haynes as free agents. You saw some good things from Anthony Bradford, but yeah, Fautanu going here at 16. I think it's a move I'd rather like trade down and do. But I mean, when NFL teams like that guy, they're willing to take him kind of essentially wherever. And yeah, he ends up going here at 16. But before we get into pick 17, if you love the draft, Gojo and Akila apparently love the draft. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only $30 by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. Pick 17, Jacksonville Jaguars are going Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman has stumbled a little bit down my board just because there's a couple of receivers I really like. Guys like Troy Franklin, guys like Brian Thomas. And he now I'm looking at him more at the back end of the first round because he does bring that alpha prototypical X size. You just worry about what he can do and be as a separator. So he goes here, like Jaguars, I do think they could be in the run for a wide receiver in this class, just with it being a deep class. Do you want to take it here? Maybe addressing the offensive line. Maybe a Fuaga would be fun because he could play guard and tackle. So it gives you a few different options, but Keon Coleman, still solid pick. It's all right. I'm kind of curious to see how Coleman will test. All right, we got pick 18, Cincinnati Bengals. They go Amarius Mims. This immediately you just plug them in at right tackle, and there you go. Like Jonah Williams, free agent. You really have no one else there at right tackle. It's been a weak spot for him for a couple of years. Mims has all the tools in the world. Unfortunately, injury kind of limited the games that he played this season. But, man, he had a banger in the college football playoff last year. And the dude has been solid when playing this season. It's just Again, we kind of wish we'd see a full year of him as a starter, but the tools are cuckoo bonanza. Pick 19, Green Bay Packers. They're going to be going with Nate Wiggins. Move this real quick. There we go. Nate Wiggins. Yeah, corner feels like the pick, right? I mean, Eric Stokes can't get healthy. Jair Alexander missed some time this year because of a shoulder injury. And Aaron Valentine, we saw good things, but he is also a day 3 rookie. So you want to add more depth, competition, and talent to that cornerback squad. And Nate Wiggins, you get a shot here. I think this is corner 2 now off the board. And yeah, I think Wiggins probably could be that guy. Terrion Arnold, again, looking at another guy with inside and outside capabilities. You could also make the same case for Cooper DeJean. Regardless, I think corner is going to be in the run-in for pick 19 here for the Packers. Again, with all these playoff teams, this order is going to look a little bit different at the end of the year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go with Jared Verse. Forgot he was still on the board, but Buccaneers need pass rush. And Verse gives them that pass rush. Their most viable pass rushers this year were Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea. So you need someone that can do it on the outside. You have Shaq Barrett in his twilight years. So I think Verse would be a phenomenal addition. Pittsburgh Steelers go with Talise Fuaga. Big fan of Fuaga. Whether you want to play him at guard, which they've had their troubles with guard play this year. To be fair, I mean, James Daniels was a bit up and down, but you're probably playing him at right tackle. You're moving Roger Jones over to the left because Dan Moore is a pee poo poo. So yeah. They could get in on this cornerback class as well, looking for the running buddy for Joey Porter. But yeah, no, I'm cool with these picks. Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, next on the clock, they go Terrion Arnold. So there you go. You got Garrett Williams there, which, they saw a bit good from him when he was able to be healthy. Remember, at the beginning of the year, he was coming off an ACL injury the year prior. And you saw Williams dip into the slot a little bit as you mainly had Marco Wilson before he was waived, and Antonio Hamilton manning up the outside spots. They do have Keitrell. I can't remember his last name. Clark, there we go, out of Louisville, but he might end up being a slot guy. So you need to get better on the outside. So they grab Arnold here again, bring some versatility. I'm curious where DeJean goes. We got the Los Angeles Rams going with Tyler Guyton. Guyton's a very high upside tackle who I think is someone who might not be able to start year 1. I don't think he's as put together as Anton Harrison was, but in terms of athleticism, he's probably going to be one of the guys that test out the best at the combine. He does bring a lot of that. Let's see if he can turn heads in Mobile. But the Rams will be looking for that right or that left tackle of the future. You could also make a great case for corner here. They don't really have that guy on the outside. You could also talk about edge help, but we already saw the top edge players come off the board. Miami Dolphins go with Jordan Morgan. I'm a big fan of Jordan Morgan, whether he wants to play left tackle or left guard. They talk about Connor Williams and Robert Hunt both have expiring contracts. I hope Hunt is back. Bring Hunt back, but he's playing right guard anyway. And center, Morgan ain't going to be playing center. So they're going to have to look for that elsewhere. This is more so an heir apparent for Terran Armstead, and even if he's back next year, he's not going to stay healthy. So Morgan could kick from left guard to left tackle when Armstead is not healthy. I like the pick. Big fan. Great movement skills for Morgan. Kansas City Chiefs go with Brian Thomas. So here's the next wide receiver on the board, off the board. Big fan of Brian Thomas. Is a very good athlete who has shown to be very good at the contested catch and just very good athlete. He's gonna pop off at the combine. I think in the explosive drills. You're just going to see he's going to have a ridiculous for a basketball player in high school. And hey, man, Kansas City, they need more weapons. Really, it's Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. That's it. And Kelsey's getting old. Houston Texans go Byron Murphy. Yes. Yes. Give this man some love. So the Texans can address the interior line. They love a deep rotation along the defensive line, or at least I assume they do. That's something that Miko Ryans did back in San Francisco. Something we kind of saw here this year as well. I imagine they bring back Jonathan Grenard, and I think this was where Derek Barnett signed, right? And he actually played really good football. Let me just fact check that. I keep forgetting which AFC South team Barnett ended up signing with. Yeah, it was with the Houston Texans. I thought so. I keep thinking Titans some reason, but it wasn't the Titans because Titans pass rush is okay. And the Texans pass rush this year has been a yay. But yeah, I like Brian Thomas, man. He has the best pass rush win rate among interior players. He is very strong, might be on the smaller side, not much. I mean, if you got no problem with Drazon Noonan, I think you should have no problem with Byron Murphy. I think Murphy actually might be the stronger of the two, and I'm a big fan. It's a two-horse race when it comes to who's the top defensive interior player. For me, I'm leaning Murphy. I'm leaning Murphy right now. That's why in my mocks you've seen Newton kind of fall down my board a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles go with Cooper DeJean. You kind of have to, right? You kind of have to, because this pass coverage has been bad. It has been cheeks. Cheeks. Sidney Brown did just suffer an ACL tear. So, like, if you could have Cooper DeJean play safety, I mean, to me, I think you play him an outside corner. I think he can make it out there. I don't think that's a problem because the guy's got the athleticism. His expertise is more so off coverage zone. That's just what it is with those Iowa guys. So, man, I think he'll be fine. It's just we don't have a lot of press reps with him. To know what he's like in press, but I mean, he's a guy that likes physicality, so I don't think I'm too worried about it. Okay, we got pick 28 Detroit Lions, Braylon Trice. If they can't go corner, they probably go edge. I think there's an outside shot. Maybe they go with a guard player here. So you could talk about Troy Fautanu or Jackson Powers Johnson. But Braylon Trice, I think he's kind of like snuck into that edge 4 spot, just being more consistent than a guy like Chop Robinson. Better size, better against the run. Chop Robinson right now looking like an early DPR that you're going to have to develop. So that probably causes him to fall down boards a little bit. But Trice going to Lions makes sense. Get a more consistent guy on the outside there for Hutchinson. And to be fair, James Houston has been banged up, but he's also more of a DPR option. Buffalo Bills go with A.D. Mitchell at 29. Gabe Davis, free agent, but you could always upgrade over him. The Bills, they love very good route runners. That's why they ended up snagging a guy that I liked coming out a couple of years ago in Khalil Shakir. And they get another really good route runner here in A.D. Mitchell. Very good wide receiver class, guys. Very good. You could also make a good case for Troy Franklin here. Dallas Cowboys go with Graham Barton. They list him as a center. That's probably what the NFL is going to look at him as. He just lacks the length, the ideal length to play tackle in the NFL. Played left tackle last 3 years for Duke, but he was recruited as an interior player. And whether it's guard or center, it's probably where you're going to put him. I like putting him at center just because he played center his freshman season. But Dallas, yeah, you got Tyler Biadasz as a free agent, so you kind of get another guy you could hope to plug and play if Biadasz does hit free agency. Pick 31, Baltimore Ravens, Chop Robinson. No team develops edge players like the Baltimore Ravens. They brought in Van Noy and Clowney, but those guys are free agents. David Ojabo unfortunately went down to another knee injury, so maybe there's a little lack of faith in him just because of his lack thereof availability the last couple of years. So you take a swing on another twitched up, incredible athlete like Chop Robinson. I don't think is out of the question. Then the San Francisco 49ers take Quinion Mitchell. This would actually be a spot I'd take Jackson Powers Johnson, because I think the interior for San Fran has been lackluster and it has been banged up. I mean, in that Baltimore game, they were down to their last center, last guard. But you probably could look quarter here as well, because you need someone. You want to pair someone up with Travarius Ward, and Yamador Lenoir, I think, is a very good depth player, but I don't think he is the guy. Quinion Mitchell has a good chance to really elevate his stock. I keep shouting this out, but if you haven't, if you're like, oh, he's from Toledo though, check out his game against Marvin Harrison Jr. back in 2022. It was a really good battle back and forth. Not necessarily the game, but the matchup was certainly very good. I don't think he has any other picks here. He does not. So I guess that wraps it up for the mock draft. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below of Jordan Reed's mock draft. But if you want to check out my own, I released a new mock draft yesterday where I had trades. I did some crazy things. I had some fun with it, and people didn't like it. People don't like fun. What can I say? But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.